fucking comedian.
And on that note, welcome to Pirate Radio, episode 23, guys. I'm Greg. Joining me, as normal, is Commander X and Cadus. And later on, we'll be joined by special guest Randa. Some of you might be going, why is Randa joining? Well, he asked me last night, so... And because he might be leaving the scene soon, it's kind of like, you know, be good to see why and check out what's going on with Epsilon. So, yeah, we'll be talking to him a bit later. As for now, though, we will be going straight into the gossip. There really isn't much this week at all. Like, last week... Like the list was like 3 times the length of what we've got now, so shouldn't be too long. Hopefully this week, you know, we're 20 minutes late anyway, so be about right, won't it? So let's just start off. We'll go with the biggest news of the week. Obviously, for those of you who have been, you know, kept in touch with it, it's just the Infused news. Flisco is leaving. He's gone. He's got a job as a bartender. He's got a bar job. I'm pretty sure it's bartender, and it's interrupts with 2 of the Infused practice nights, and they only practice for 3 nights. So he's leaving, and Hat's coming in as a replacement. Obviously, Hat at the moment for this past season was like playing medic in Div 4, I think, and he definitely wanted to do something next season with a team. So grabbing Infused right now is a pretty awesome move for him, guys. What do you think? Anybody?
I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping to have Hat on backup for when Bite finally strangles Zebasay. But no, it's an improvement, really, in my opinion. I didn't think you could do much to improve Epsilon. Epsilon Infused, but Fliss was pretty good. But I think Hat is actually probably the best soldier in Europe, in my opinion, when he gets his groove on. So yeah, man, I'm scared. Yeah? That's about it. I'm scared.
Okay. Zavi, what about you?
Yeah, I thought Flisco was really good, and like really sort of recently he's really come to the fore a lot more, like being a bit more of a big player than Epsilon. For Epsilon, oh, fuck's sake, Cadus, how did it's happened to me as well. For Infused, like instead of just sort of playing that kind of shitty roamer role where all he does is do the forces, support the flank, nothing too spectacular, he actually started contributing a lot more, being a bit more carry. But obviously, Hat's pretty sick, so it's not a downgrade in any way.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about it a little bit more in depth. Obviously, I played with that team. So, first of all, bringing Hat in, he's a pocket soldier, straight up. So he's not going to be playing Roma for them. So he is going to be swapping. That means that Mike's going to swap to Roma and go back to his old role, which he hasn't played for a long time. So from that point of view, inside the team, I don't know how like different cohesively it's going to be. I think it will probably be better from Dunk's point of view, because Hat will be definitely a much more pocket style soldier compared to how Mike plays it. But I don't know how that's going to reflect on the rest of the team, and especially when Numlock's absorbing a lot of the heals. Have to really wait and see how that happens. As for Mike going roaming, he was a really good roamer when he was roaming before, so that I think he'll probably slot in quite well. Him and Cookie will definitely work well together, and I'm sure Joe will just easily work out what's going on there.
I won't even have to do anything. You can just
just like Cookie and Mike kill everything on the flank, and he can just be like, "Thank you, guys," like I used to do. Awesome. And as for what was I going to say? As for Hat himself, as Kada says, I'll reflect that he's a fucking good soldier. As Kada says, I'll probably rate him near the top in Europe. And joining with Mike, that soldier combo is going to be sick. But Hat himself always gets bored of soldier and scout so quickly.
Notorious for flaking out. No offense, Alex, I love you, bro, but you are fucking the biggest flake I've ever known.
As Kada says, like if I put a bet on it, I would bet he wouldn't be in that team by I-46. If I was going to put a bet on it, like I know Hat, he's a legend, he really is. But like judging by his past history with that stuff. But then having said that, he's now in a team which is going to pay for him to go to LAN, pay for his hotels. So whether that means he's going to want to play more. Plus they're only playing 3 nights a week rather than like the full, 5 nights a week like the teams he used to be in. Means he can still enjoy the rest of the other time. So maybe that means he'll still enjoy TF2. That's what it always was with him, with playing Soldier and Scout in officials. He just got bored of TF2, so go for it, Xavi, whatever you want to say.
Also, in Infused, he won't have to call. Like, obviously, he can add his calls, but he won't be in the same way as in, like, Yo-Yo Tech, where he has to be the main caller, sort of controlling everything, being in charge. He can take a much more, like, relaxed role and let Numlocked do all the calling, do all the push calls and stuff, and just add in his own bit and focus more on his own game. He doesn't have to worry as much about the other players.
Plus, the other teams that he used to be in all had to all were trying to work towards where Infused are now, while he's now jumping in straight at the top. So he's already settling into something. Like if you look at Yo-Yo Tech, they had to they were working towards the top. If you look at his old team, which was also called Yo-Yo Tech, the old admirable team, pretty much. I know it was like Mackism and that lot, wasn't it? It was ages ago.
Roy's, Admirable,
Walters and somebody else. Yeah, they were
Ali.
all working towards something. So maybe going into Infused will make him enjoy it a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see with that. But from their point of view, if they needed a soldier, the best thing they needed was a UK soldier, and there are only two that they could have gone, which was Boomy and Hat. And Boomy's teamed, and Hat wasn't, and Hat wanted to join them. So from the Infused point of view, that's perfect. So just have to see if he's landable and all that jazz, and it will definitely be a good move for them come I-46 if he's still there. Anything more to add, guys?
Yeah, I was just going to say that if it wasn't for the fact I-46 was in a month, I would agree with you when you said by the time I-46 comes around, he would have left. Like, in terms of, I would only give it a month or two before he kind of was like, fuck this. Because, I don't know, I've never played for Infused, but based on insider information, the atmosphere doesn't really strike me as Hat's cup of tea. Like, he's never really been one that tolerates. I mean, he sits there and doesn't complain or whatever when people are raging, but it doesn't really strike me as the kind of atmosphere that's going to keep him engaged for that long. But I think the drive, the desire of free land and all that kind of stuff, potentially winning that land. Yeah, I think that will kind of make him hang in there, even if he's maybe not having the best of times.
Okay. Well, I-46 is 2 months and something away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 2.5 months.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, it probably will. The allure of playing on the main stage, will probably bring him to it. And playing, if the American teams decide to turn up playing against Americans and stuff like that, will, probably want him to go. I did talk to him before he wanted to join Infused about going to I-46, and he said he didn't want to go. So, hopefully they've changed his mind. But I'm sure they have, and I'm sure they've discussed it before bringing him in. So, but that's pretty much that news. Not really much more to go on unless you guys have anything else to say.
Mini Moose.
I was
Where's
thinking that when
Mini
we were
Moose?
talking about top UK soldiers, and you're saying there's only one option.
Yeah, I'd have taken Hat.
There's
Mini
always
Moose has been
two
out of it too
options.
long. He's just a summer player, Mini Moose. That's not good enough for Infused unless they fold after I-46 like everyone else. But maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, indeed. So let's move on to some more of the news for team news from this week. Going through this, let's go to the Deserto stuff, because obviously Deserto lost players. Ski just trying to bring players in to play out the season, and he's now officially brought in Luzu and Brago to play it out. I think he wants to play some extra nights in the week, but I'm pretty much working now full time, so I can't actually play very often. Some of our officials have been organised, but I can't even play some of them, so they might need to get another scout in for me anyway. Apparently we're not playing anymore according to Ski, but yeah, so 2 Div 1 players. Honestly, I'm meant to be playing with this team, and I don't think I even know who Brago is. So, can you guys enlighten me who he is? Yeah, I don't know.
Brago is probably the most promising demo around at the moment, being perfectly honest. I mean, I haven't seen much of him in a real setting, but and I've never even played on the same team as him, because I've only really played with him in pickup 2, and obviously I'm always playing demos on the other team. But DM wise, he's probably the biggest prospect demo wise that's around at the moment. Beyond that, though, I really couldn't say much, because I don't know how his English is, or even his comms or game sense are in general. But I mean, for just playing officials, I mean, it's a good pickup. It'll give him not that much experience. Obviously, it's just officials, but it'll give him a bit. I think it's probably a good move for both team and player.
Okay, cool. And then, go for it, Xavi.
I feel like Brago was always, not a mean way, but he was kind of held back by his team, the whole sort of the air teams. They've always been Div 2, and Brago's always been the best player on the team and the carry on the team, but they've never been able to break through. So I feel like he's always been restrained by them and not had a chance in the top levels until obviously now.
Okay. And Luzu, obviously, really, really good soldier. So probably good for both those teams to be able to play in Prem. But from Deserto's point of view, like depending on what they wanted to, what they really want to get out of it. Did they want to finish the season like Carnage, or do they want to push forward to the next season? I think Ski's trying to get a team to push forward into next season. So picking up these players is better for them. But if they just wanted to finish the season, it probably would be better to grab mercs from other teams, from my point of view.
With that team, I don't really understand why they wouldn't just play. Like, yeah, I really agree with you. Like, Brago and Luzu, they're like really good up and coming players, but they kind of need to put the hours in that like higher setting to actually click. I mean,
someone needs the experience. You can't just
throw. Like it could be a really good opportunity for both of them and the team, because I mean they're players that if the game lasts long enough, they're going to be at the top of the game probably at some point. So kind of getting them in and getting in like that tight knit group that is the Reg crew or whatever. Like I'm not sure why they don't just kind of go for it, if you know what I mean. I mean, this season, is it really that important? It's like finishing somewhere in this season. Like, I don't know. I assume Ski still wants to play. Like, I'm going to be playing TF2. I don't know why. I mean, if you don't want to play or you can't play, no offense, you're not that great. Just cut you and get another scout in, and then play a proper team. I don't really understand why they would just finish a season. It's not that important.
Yeah, I've said that. Like, I've said they can get anybody in. Like, I'm not that bothered about finishing it off. So, it's a bit of a weird one. You know, if they want to finish a season and they stay in Prem, then they should probably get merc. I don't know. I don't
just
really
get
know,
superstars in. I mean, no one in Prem gives a fuck who uses a merc. Like, they really never really complain unless you're.
Cedo.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't use Poxy, but anyone else is fine normally.
Oh well. So yeah, they're finishing off with the season with that. Maybe they're looking just to bring a new team together, get it together, and hopefully get the screenshots or whatever after the season to do it. But if you're only playing one night a week with new players, it's not really gonna be very much an improvement for anybody. So we'll have to wait and see really. But I don't think that will end up working well, and they'll just end up like coming last in the season as such. You know, last in the tables. Right. As for next bit of news, sorry, Xavier was just PMing me about something else. Let's talk about the Cedo stuff. I don't really know much about this, so someone dive in and take over for me.
Well, I'm only semi-aware, but basically, if it was like half the Latvians left, so the leftover Latvians, the less well-known ones, brought in some other unknown Latvians to keep Cedo going, and meanwhile, the breakaways, which I think is Animal, Blind, maybe someone else, are starting a new team with the likes of Honey Mustard and Poxy.
So Animal calls Poxy Prem, and then a week later recruits him. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's quite a smooth transition, like, really.
Okay. Cadis, do you know anything more about that?
Yeah, well, Destructo, I think, basically quit the game, and it was kind of like a split of like what the players wanted to do, like in Cedo. Like I think like Animal kind of wanted to bring in a English-speaking demo and stay playing at a higher level, maybe even progressing to a Prem level rather than Div 1. But the others, apart from Blind, I think, Blind and maybe one other, I can't remember, they're all the same to me. But the others wanted to bring in like a low-level Latvian player and keep playing for fun in their native language. So there was just really this split of what they wanted to do. So they decided to split into two teams. Obviously, with the keeners bringing in English speakers to make the overall skill level higher, and the funners just bringing in their like Latvian friends or whatever.
Okay, so who's kept hold of the team? Sorry, which sides kept hold of the team?
That's what I was gonna say. Like when I heard about it, Blind told me, Blind is in the Animal split, like the Keen split. Blind told me that the Latvians were going to keep hold of the team, which made absolutely no fucking sense to me, because why the fuck would the people playing for fun, like from lower divs, keep the Div 1 team, like the roster and the place in Div 1 over the team that are trying to go Keen? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but that's just what I was told. Like, they said that it wasn't really decided yet, but I'm not sure if it's even decided at this point. Commander X, maybe you know?
We are playing Cedo, the Latvian one, the all Latvian one, the Latvians and their friends in the official tomorrow. Yeah. So they're the ones who have kept hold of it. I don't think it's right either, but I guess like maybe this new team want to break away, if that makes sense. Like they don't want to be a Cedo reform. They want to just be their own thing, if you know what I mean, not kind of get tied to that.
Well, I don't think they really give a fuck about that, to be honest. Why would they? Like, is there a bad stigma attached to the name Cedo? I don't really think so.
But then
Maybe it's something
depends
to
who
do
you
with them.
are.
Maybe it's something to do with them like actually wanting to play as a team before they just dive into ETF2L already in mid-season.
Yeah,
And with
maybe.
other results, I don't know.
I don't know. The way I had it explained to me was they just wanted to get going. I don't really know.
Okay. All right. Well, so there's not really much we can say more about that. I would agree that the team that's better should take the spot. But if they haven't got it, we can't. Who's to say which team's better at this point in time? Obviously, the Keynote should, in theory, get better, but the Fun team might be better at this moment in time. So I don't really know much about some of these players. Obviously, the new team, I know a few more of the players. I don't know who any of the like Fun team are. Um, but obviously the Fun team have got it. Like, if the new players are the ones that wanted to make the decision to split apart, then they've left the team to do that, haven't they? And the other guys have said, oh, okay, you guys want to do that. We don't really care either way, and we just get some players in to fill your spots. So who knows how it went down? If it went down in that sort of way, then obviously the Cedo that are there now should get the team and just play the season. Now, I don't really know how it's going down in Div 1 at the moment, whether they've actually won any
Going
games or
down.
whatever, or they'll look to...
They got
Good.
absolutely fucking wrecked by ISIS, who, no offense, are probably the worst team in Division 1. So that's why I say it's an absolutely retarded decision for the Latvians to hold on to the roster, because they just can't, they're not up to the job, really.
Yeah.
Like, they got 5-0, 2-0 Badlands Garrow Pit, 5-0'd by who are probably, no offense, the worst team in Division 1. Like, it
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of like on paper, man. I'm not really sure, because they're not actually in the middle of Division 1 at the moment, but I don't know. I'm not
None
sure.
of their results of their own, if that makes sense. Like,
Like, they should have
Yeah.
6 points less than they do. They should really be on 8 points at the moment, because that win over Cedo was, I mean, deserved against the roster they played. But if they played the real Cedo, then they wouldn't have had a chance, really.
Yeah, like going into the season, I would agree with you that having said that ISIS were the worst team in Div 1. But obviously they've grabbed some points now, and Cedo with the changes should be a bit different. But oh well, like there's not much more we can really add to that. It's down to the players and the teams, isn't it? What's happening?
well, there's no drama about it. Like, no one,
Yeah.
neither team care. It was just kind of like, do you want it? I guess, sure, whatever, we'll play it, and we'll get the
Yeah,
game
exactly.
started.
So that's pretty much it for the gossip, I think. I say the teams and team news.
Gossip.
Yeah. Do you want to bring in Randa now if he's around? Fingers crossed he still is.
Got no rehearsals with McFly to get to or anything.
Cool. So Adam's just going to phone Randa and bring him in, hopefully. So generally, at the moment, guys, we're going to just talk to Randa about what's really happened with Epsilon at the moment, with all this Nox gossip and then losing players of Randa not being able to play. I don't really know the main reason behind that, and without having talked to him properly. And I doubt most of you would have known what's going on behind Randa. I think Cadus knows, and that's about it. So hopefully Randa will be able to give us a good explanation that will kill some time. We'll have to wait and see, really. As
If you have any questions for Randa, PM me now on IRC Commander X, and if they're not from Thai, I might read them out.
didn't you have a brilliant one ready for him? Is the reason why
I've
quick.
got an easy question to ease him into.
So hopefully Randa Skype's working.
Oh, yeah?
Hello,
Yeah,
welcome to Pirate Radio, Sam.
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about you?
Wet.
Not too bad, mate.
Good. All right, well, why don't we just get straight into it? So, obviously, do you listen to Pirate Radio? I think you do a little bit, and get awkward when DJC makes jokes and I laugh at them. I think that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Pretty occasionally when I'm bored, yeah. Monday morning hangover, but yeah.
All right, fair enough. So, obviously, like throughout the past couple of episodes, a couple of episodes ago, like we will have this like hoo-ha about yourself leaving and like getting like Extremer and Waters into the team for LAN and stuff like that. So why don't you go into it from your point of view? What really happened? Why you're stepping away from the team and stuff like that, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically the main reason is I just work too much now. It's summer and I don't really want to play anymore. Obviously, we've done everything. I think as a team anyway, one LAN. Obviously, we've been the best for quite a while now. So there's not really much to achieve from now on. And as well, I've got a holiday sort of that overlaps with I-46. So I don't really want to get back after 5 days of partying and drive to Birmingham, sort of from the south of England. So it just didn't really appeal to me. So I
I
thought
don't think going to Birmingham appeals to anyone. Just saying.
exactly, especially after a 5-day bender. So yeah, I just thought I'd step down and obviously get someone else in who can play a bit more than me over the summer anyway.
Okay, so you said that over the summer you work quite a lot, which means then your free time was either like before was like TF2 and some seeing your girlfriend and stuff, and now because it's summer you want to have a break from it. Well, does that mean after the summer you're gonna want to come back, or are you
No.
completely done with TF2 now?
Done. I'm not coming back.
That's
Decided-
what they all say.
Even smiles were.
I won't be playing anymore after that. So there's nothing really to come back to, I think, especially after I-46. I mean, there's quite a few teams folding, isn't there, as far as I'm aware. I mean, obviously, Epsilon, I know Epsilon will be folding, especially after I-46, so I'm not sure what other teams will be doing anyway.
Yeah, that's something I was going to ask you. So Epsilon will be folding after I-46?
Yeah, I mean, Nox is obviously just barely playing, as I'm sure you're aware. Like, he decided to just carry on playing until I-46, and obviously, I'm pretty sure, they're folding afterwards as well.
Okay,
so I know Nox did even anyway, so.
Yeah, so like obviously Nox had all these troubles before, and you tried to like bring in Hazard for a little bit and stuff like that. So he has fully committed to I-46 now. Yes.
Yeah, apparently
Okay.
so. Me, so yeah, he's definitely going.
Cool. Does he have very much time to play at the moment, or is he?
I think he literally just turns up for PCWs and officials. Really, I think at one point he was only going to turn up to play officials, but then we were sort of like, well, there's not really much point in that, and you might as well get someone else. But yeah, now he said he's committed and he's going to be playing, as far as I can tell, anyway.
Okay, and what about you? Are you committed to the officials and PCWs until they bring in until when?
Basically, last week when I decided I was going to quit, I spoke to Extremer and he said obviously he can't play at the moment because of his exams. And I said, how long is it going to be till you can play? He said 2 weeks. I said to Slick, I'll play for the next 2 weeks, and then after that I'll step down. And they were quite happy with that. So.
Okay, cool. So it's been about a year for you now in Epsilon, hasn't it, as well? I think that's when the team was set up.
Yeah, I think just before, I think it was July last year, wasn't it? July, June last year, I think, around this time. So just before I-43, wasn't it?
Yeah, about the same time as Infused was set up with the new team as well. So yeah, I'm just thinking. So Extreme is going to take over from a couple of weeks. That's pretty much the end of the season just for playoffs, and he will be fairly rusty, not used to the team. From your point of view, do you feel you're letting down the team by doing that just for the playoffs, or do you not really care?
I mean, I think I'm pretty sure he's better than me anyway, even if he comes back rusty. So I don't really think it makes a difference, to be honest. Like, he's pretty sick. He could just come in and play fucking awesome anyway. So it doesn't really matter to them anyway. I'm sure Slick doesn't mind.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. Obviously with Extremer, and the other player they're bringing in is Shintaz, and they're both like Slick's pretty good mates from the old Epsilon team and IDK and stuff, isn't it? So.
Yeah, the Golden Boys. They're happy to have them back, I'm sure. So.
All right. So, yeah. So you only ever went to one LAN, didn't you? Was it Max LAN? No, it wasn't Max LAN. It was GA, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gamers Assembly. Yeah. Well, my LAN dodging now I heard last week. What was that all about?
Hey, you only went to one. Waters is still above you on the LAN dodging scale, but you only went to one, man. So.
I went to 40. For Epsilon anyway. I've been to 40. I went to 42. Yeah, but. That's one more than Waters, isn't
it? That's what you could just keep saying, one more than Waters. So, yeah, I'm just like, I didn't realise that Epsilon were actually going to fold. So I was just thinking now I was going to ask some things about like what you guys were planning on doing. But obviously you're not going to be doing anything afterwards. So do you know if the rest of your team are going to be quitting as well? Or have you not really spoken to them at all, or not really that bothered?
I think F2's come to the end of it as well. Like, he's obviously done everything as medic that he can. I think even now he's a bit fed up and he just wants to get on with it. So I think he'll definitely be quitting afterwards. So, I mean, Shocky, I think, will play another game. He might play TF2 for a bit, but he wants to play Shoot Mania. So I think he'll do that. Nox, as I said, will definitely be quitting, and I'm pretty sure Gear's going to be quitting as well. So.
Okay, so yeah, so this has nothing to do with you guys losing the last ETF2L season. That's all.
Random. Yeah, okay. One lucky game.
We're at the top, now you're not. Oh, no, I'm joking, of course. I'm joking.
Now it's time to quit.
So yeah, I don't know if I have any more real questions. Do you have any, Xavi, that people have messaged you?
No, I've had no useful response from our audience at all.
I've got a question.
Go for it, Cadus.
Aside from the obvious LAN victory, what is the standout moment of your Epsilon career?
I'd say probably ETF2L.
Which
season
victory over Infused would you have to pick?
There's so
As for the
many.
previous 80.
So many. It's hard to pick one. Yeah, it's probably. I'd say season 10 was probably the best victory. Obviously, we came back from Ungoliwash last for some reason. They pushed because they're retards.
Thanks, yeah.
Sure, it was
Sounds
my
pretty accurate.
Little Walters back cap. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Sneaky.
And then the little double heavy.
Yeah. Apparently interfered as well, and you're kicking up a fuss. Crybabies.
I did have another question, but I've actually just forgot what it was. Yeah, actually, so I heard a few rumors about you booking time off for some of these, like the major games. Did that actually happen? Is that so you had to book some days off work?
Yeah, well, I didn't really have to, but like I wanted to actually perform, so and I never get any time to practice. I mean, I'm sure you're aware, like, obviously about 4 years I've been playing now, and the last 3 years obviously I was so keen playing every day, like all the time, and then obviously since I've had my job and sort of I don't really play at all, so I'm pretty shit now, as I'm sure you're aware anyway. But yeah, I thought I'd have a couple of days off just so I can play and get a bit of practice in. And I think it worked for season 10 anyway. So I played pretty decently in the final, but then I don't really practice anymore. So that was only one time I did it though. The season 10 final.
Yeah, cool. Obviously, you have certain drives at certain points for that sort of thing. I do understand that completely. Yeah, like because it has it gone out of you, TF2? Do you not want to play it anymore? Like, if you had the free time, so if you weren't working, would you still be playing every day?
If it was winter, yeah, probably, but no, not this summer. No, there's just too much to do. There's too much I want to do as well. So I just thought, no, I'll just step down now. Especially, I mean, there's times when games get scheduled and I have to sort of cancel real life stuff just to play, and it's just a bit much now, and I just don't want to do that anymore, really.
Yeah, completely understandable. I don't know if there's any more questions that anybody has. Xavi, Kalis?
Commander X has one, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure Xavi has one as well.
Yeah, he's troll. He's going to troll.
That's not a troll question. It's not a troll question. It's not a troll question. Are you sure the real reason you didn't quit is because you couldn't face losing the Team England demo spot to Numlocked again?
I think that might be why. The thing is, can I just bring up a point? At the time of the last Nations Cup, I was fucking much better than Numlocks. That was bollocks. I was much better than him. And everyone knows it. I was the best demo in Europe at that point, hands down. And then I got fucking shafted because Byte hated me. So I'm still bitter about that,
actually. you don't sound it, but yeah.
I just want to point out that England team still won. Yeah. So, unluckily for you, didn't have a gripe that you could go, oh, you didn't win without me, or didn't win without me, yeah. So
you would have won more comfortably if I was in the team at that point.
All right. Do you have any shout-outs or anything you want to say?
No, just see you later, everyone. I was actually, Dijon Carter's fucking shit, and he's a total bellend, and I don't think he's ever picked on anything. That's one of the just shout out to Wally because he's a fucking gimp, and Walker as well. So that's about it.
Cool, man. Well, thank you very much.
And all Epsilon as well, of course. Can't miss those.
Sorry?
Epsilon, of course.
Yeah.
And Nox is the best. So.
Yeah, Nox is a good lad. Well, thank you very much for coming on, man. I do have to say it. And cheers for asking yesterday. Like, obviously, with you leaving, I kind of wanted to bring you on just so you could say your goodbyes and shit like that, and find out all the real reason for why you're leaving and stuff.
Make just a thread as well, just to say.
I was about to say, just do this instead of one of those cringy ETF2L goodbye phrase. Also, Josie's going crazy now because he wants to bring up one more memory. Josie's going absolutely nuts in the IRC.
He says if it's about fucking what's his face, Dr. Liam, he can fuck off.
It's exactly about that.
It's total bollocks. Total bollocks. He can shut up. He's such a fellow. Hey, Joey, I'll fight you at LAN. How about that?
It's on I-46. Get it. Screw your holiday.
Land dodging.
Showdown with Joey C.
It's gonna be land dodging.
So. All right, cool. Well, cheers, and we won't catch you again, really. I might catch you online. And as for the rest of Pirate Radio, let's just keep going, I reckon, guys. So thank you very much for joining us, Randa, and I'll let you go to bed. As for the next bit of topic, because that was a Bit of a weird interview. I think it went alright. Just let's talk about CX rant. I'll let CX talk for a bit, and then we can.
Oh,
Just so people know, this is what he has written on the piece of paper that he gave me. Piece of paper. The details he gives me. CX rant about Avenue being pussies. That's all he's given me. I have no clue what it is whatsoever. So
well,
I'll just let him go for it.
That was CX versus ETF2L because that never actually came to anything this week. That's going to have to put on ice. But yeah, basically.
You know, about that CX versus ETF2L as well, but
it's all about me to show. Basically, I play for Autobots. If you don't know, Avenue or another Div 1 team. We were like Avenue.
I meant Autobots.
Good one.
Never mind.
Anyway, yeah. So basically, we were like, we can play Monday because it's for last day. Septique has a good computer because he's moving back to Finland, and Septique's our carry player, so obviously we want him at his best. And he's like waking up at 6 or 7 a.m. the next day instead of moving the day before. And basically, shut up, Crouton, I'm always using it for personal gain. And basically, we were like, can we play the 11th? Jackal was like, I'm not sure if I'm here. So I asked a bit later, I talked to Stark. He was like, yes, Jackal's here, we can play. Then I got a PM saying, I'm not sure what's happening. Tack needs to talk to you. I was like, brilliant, Tack, my favourite person. Also, Boomy's favourite person, just as a side.
yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing as you said that.
Yeah, basically, I was just like, well, can we just play? And he was like, fine, whatever, we'll play. Fine, it'll be easier than default. It's easier than default, but whatever, sure, we'll play. I was like, what? Why will it be so easy? It's not like we practice loads. Everyone knows we barely play more than a couple of days a week. And it was like, well, we've had no time to play Obscure as a team. At which point I informed him, we've played Obscure twice as a team. Crouton's played the map maybe 3 times in total in his entire TF2 career. And I was just like, are you serious? Yeah, Crouton twice, not for even 3 times. And then he was like, I'm so angry. Then he was like, oh, well, that's too much time to practice it, blah, blah, blah. We've not had time to get our new demo in. And it's like, it's week 7. Of course you're not going to be ready when you lose half your team halfway through the season. You're never going to be ready properly. Just play it. And he bitched for ages, and I was just like, fine, we'll move it then. Just like
True
fucking...
story.
True story.
This story sounds a bit rubbish. I'm just going to call it out.
I just want to point out... I missed one of the key points, right? They said they're not ready to play us on the 11th, yeah, the Monday, which is what we wanted to play. But they're playing the Excello Open final that day. Which probably I could have just said that, and that would have been as...
I'm just...
out. Bullshit.
Do I not just want to point out that they have to play the Excello Open final before the 12th? I know you're saying that, but they have to play it before the 12th. They don't have to play the ETF2L
Really?
game before then. Yes, they do.
To be fair, CX actually has a valid point. Basically, what he's saying is that Avenue are basically insisting that Commander X has to take into account that the other team is unprepared. And it's a valid point, but sadly Commander X has the articulation of I don't even know what, but he's just basically explaining the story in a really long-winded and boring way. Basically, the bottom line is Avenue, you have to fucking play your games, unless you're Autobots who've only played 1 game, which makes it quite hypocritical, really. But yeah, basically Avenue are pussies and Commander X is bad at explaining it. And I'm even worse, so let's move on.
Yeah, what Kay just said would have been an easy way of saying that.
Right, so we've all just found out why Zabby's only told me it, so it was a rant rather than what it was, because if he had said what it was,
it's
wouldn't
a
have been
fair
on.
point. Man up and play your games.
Okay, the next news was something Zabby didn't put on, which Time reminded me of earlier, which actually the ETF2L and Nations Cup 6v6, most of the captains have been picked. I don't actually know how most of the captains are going to do their teams, but go on to ETF2L site and message your captain if you think you're going to be in the team. Just try and get in contact with them. I guess it's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, exactly, Cadus. So Cadus needs to get in contact with Admirable, so he's sorted there. Don't you, Jason?
Yeah, man, Team Island represent. Here we go. The way, the Mighty Greens or something.
Do we want to go through any of these captains that stand out? Oh, thank God Hardblue actually managed to get the 6v6 captaincy. Yeah.
Oh my God, whoever had to have another ETF2L thread.
And that's pretty much it. Nothing else really stands out. Oh, Toad got
Oh,
the Team Portugal captain.
While we're talking about ETF2L news post though, ETF2L, can you fix the fucking website so I don't have to retype the URL to get to the news page again? That'd be nice, thank you. I know that the Experimental Highlander Cup #2 was really important, but I'm not sure it quite justifies completely fucking
favourite
up the
cup.
menu system. Just throwing it out there.
Oh wow, they got rid of the home button because of that.
Yep. But they got the news, but then it takes you to news archives, which is like not quite the same page. It's very silly. Anyway.
Okay, well, awesome. Right, well, let's move on to the next bit of news, which... Oh, I just wanted to add in here. So, Infused and Epsilon are both playing 2 finals, Angels and Velociraptor. Some of you might have forgotten about them because they were like scheduled in April or something. The original cup started in April, but I think they've set the dates, not for this week, but for the week after, 21st to 24th. But we'll talk about them next week anyway. Just thought I'd let everyone know. And Excello happened last week, so... We had a good laugh about this beforehand because none of us even remembered until about 2 minutes before we went live on the show. So, Zavi, why don't you go through some of the results or some of these surprise results?
I've got the Invitational open. I don't care about.
Okay.
But basically, the finals between Avenue and Nitros, I didn't
Okay.
recognise a single other team really.
All right. So the final of the Open Cup. So the winner gets put into the Invitational is between Avenue and Nitros.
I think they both get put in because of a number of dropouts from the cup. I think they are just playing for seeding basically.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm looking at the invite, yeah, because they're damage control in this, aren't they? So, yeah, Nitros and damage control are both in it. So do you want to go through
deciding
the
which
8
one
invite
gets to lose
teams?
to Infuse and which one gets to lose to Epsilon. Very important game.
So, Zabi, do you want to go through the 8 teams that are
Right,
actually signed
okay,
up and
so
invited?
top seeds are Infused, second Epsilon, Crack Clan are third, TCM are fourth. There's a team called Furbo
Bullshit.
Panthers. Who I presume are some sort of mix. I don't really recognise that team name.
Let's click
It's
on
like
the members.
Furbo, Hildriff, Rinter, Zefio, Shifty, some sheep guy. And I'm pretty sure we beat this team playing off class in a mix earlier. So good luck versus Infused guys. You can do it. Also, Nitro's Damage Control and Justice League. Damage Control are obviously Avenue, just different name on Exelo.
Okay, I've been given an update by Sunny Black as well. So this is actually a pretty important game, the Open Bracket Final, because the winner of the Open Bracket Final gets 5th seed, the loser gets 6th seed, Furbo Pandas are 7th seed, and Justice League are 8th seed. So that means Justice League are playing Infused. Furbo Pandas are playing...
Who's on Furbo Pandas?
It's like Hildreth and Rinter and...
Right.
I've got the lineup.
What string of events led to them getting the superior seed to Justice League? No, if not,
They
calling
played
them
the
out.
Open Cup, I presume.
And
And Justice League didn't, is all I can presume.
so
These are the other
did
two
they qualify?
semi-finalist teams.
Oh right, okay.
And
That's
no,
Blech.
sorry, I take that back. Sunny Black just said me. One of the semi-finalist teams, which were Furbo Pandas, and Justice League actually only got to the quarterfinals.
Oh
for
really?
the Cup. Yeah. So I
That's
don't know who the other semi-finalist team were, but I guess they didn't want to play in the invite. Weird.
Apparently, Justice League weren't using their full lineup in the cup, is what I hear now in IRC. So I presume that's why we didn't go as far.
Right.
So I presume in the Invite Cup they'll have their full lineup, and Fish will be back maybe from Fatherhood.
Well, Fish is on IRC at the moment, so I assume he's finished giving birth.
Okay. Right. So yeah. So that means that the winner of this cup will actually play TCM, and the loser will play CC. Would I want to win or lose? That's a question that I'm just
I'd say
asking
you
in my head
definitely-
right now.
Wait, the winner plays TCM,
Yeah.
and the
They're
loser.
playing for
you're
the
seeded
chance to
fourth.
play you, Jadis.
Right. Okay. I don't want to be biased, but CC blow, man, blatantly just throw the game. Throw the
So-
game.
So yeah. So that's being played on Tuesday. Well, the Open Cup final's been played on Monday night. The invite's being played on Tuesday. That will be the quarters and the semi-finals. Assume they're both best of 3 because this is the same as what they've been doing before. So the first one will just be, the kind of the 4 Prem teams versus the 4 non-Prem teams. Then it'll be the further games, and then the final will be organised hopefully later this week rather than like a month down the line. I'm crossing my fingers and touching wood at the moment, but
Yeah, while we're on the topic of just that final, going back to the Excello finals, I think it's really annoying that these finals have happened so much delayed. But what's even more annoying is I actually over overheard or overread. I read a conversation that I had no part in, basically, between some of the admins of the
Stalker.
Excello Cup, and they were discussing the possibility of doing a best of 5 to decide both finals at once because they were so far gone. I just wanted to say I thought that would have been a really fucking good game if they'd have done that, rather than just having two of the same finals, literally one day after the other. I mean, can you think of any more of like a boring, like, as far as Infused Epsilon games go, can you think of any more boring circumstance to do it in than having the same game 3 times in 1 week? I think that best of 5 would have been a really fucking good game to watch, and I really wish they'd have done it.
And they would have played, 5 different maps as well. Like, there would have been a lot
Yeah.
more variety than just seeing everyone.
Like,
getting
I read
picked
that
off.
and I thought, holy fucking shit, am I actually reading Crafts coming up with a good idea? And I was, but then he, being Crafts, was like, actually, no, let's just go with this really boring setup instead. Anyway.
Safe option.
Yeah, I would say that would have been fucking awesome. There are lots of things to have to get around, but if you could do that, that would have been fucking awesome. Shame it's not going to happen. But yeah, so is that the same week that Infused are playing Epsilon and ETF2L as well?
Yes, it is. I'll correctly
Oh my
grab up the
God.
fixtures you guys have to look forward to. On the 20th, it's Infused versus Epsilon. The 21st, it's Infused versus Epsilon. And the 24th, yes, it's right, it's Infused versus Epsilon. What a week we have in store for you next week after next.
Oh, well, that sounds absolutely riveting. That does. But obviously, if you want to look forward to some good TF2, then the best TF2 in Europe, then that's those games are what you want to watch. So 3 in a row, can't complain too much, can you? Wait a minute, they're all exactly the same. Oh well. I assume they're all the same maps, Cadus. Can you open them and have a look? As we
Bloody
leave dead
hell,
air on.
Sorry, I had my mic on mute because I was typing. Put me through my paces. This one doesn't have maps listed, this one doesn't have maps listed, and the ETF2L is obscure and gully wash. I assume that the maps aren't listed because it's going to be down to pick/elimination, which hasn't been determined yet.
Which means
Okay, so
Obscure
it's-
will only be played once that week.
Indeed.
So the ETF2L game's sorted, and the other one will be Badlands, Gully Wash, Snake Water, or something like that. I would assume Badlands, Granary, Snake, Gully Wash.
It will be
I
some
doubt it will
combination of
change.
maps, Greg is saying, right?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, okay, let's move on. Fuck it. Fuck you. Why don't you go through the games that happened this week, Zavi, and the ones that are happening next week in ETF2L, so we can
Right.
move on.
Games that happened this week. TCM versus CC. TCM won.
Brilliant. Is that it?
That is it. That concludes last week's results.
Oh, well, Prem seasons are going well with these games. They started well this season, actually. I have to say the season started pretty well with games, and it just kind of like faltering now. I think there's a few next week, aren't there? I don't know, but why don't we go through the games that are meant to be played next week? So I guess it's week 7 is meant to be played next week. Is that right?
It is meant to be the final week of ETF12 next week.
It's meant to be the final week next week. Are you kidding me?
It's the final week next week, and there's a catch-up week afterwards because everyone's so bad at scheduling their games, basically.
Okay, well, why don't you go through the games that are
Okay,
meant to be next week, and we can
it's gonna
predict them, and then we'll have a look at what our games are actually scheduled for next week.
Obscure and
as well.
Gully Wash next week, which will be fun. Crackclan are going to play Too Strong, which will be interesting, but I think Too Strong will take it. Punchline v Deserto, which will be a nothing game since Deserto aren't really Deserto. TCM versus Quarantine, and Epsilon v Infused, first leg.
Okay, so, Cadis, do you want to go through your predictions first for those games?
I would love to. Read them after me once more, though.
CC Too Strong.
Depends when it's played, no comment.
Punchline Deserto.
Punchline 4-2.
TCM Quarantine.
6-0 TCM.
Epsilon Infused.
Oh, it's 3-3 golden cap on both different ways.
Okay, I'll go through next. So the first one is CC Too Strong. If it's played next week, it's going to be 4-2 to CC. If it's played the week after, 6-0 to Too Strong. What's the next game?
Punchline Deserto.
Punchline 6-0.
TCM Quarantine.
TCM 6-0. And
Epsilon
Infused
Infused.
Epsilon. One of them is Obscure. Obscure be a golden cap. What's the other one? Gully Wash.
Gully Wash.
4-2 to Infused. Go on, Zavi, you go for yours.
I'm gonna go. I'm going to go Crackland to win on the basis they'll play it sooner rather than later because CC will want to. And Too Strong won't be ready, just be caught off guard. Punchline will be Deserto because Punchline are a team and Deserto are a mix right now. TCM will be Quarantine. Maybe an upset on Obscure because TCM suck at it. And it's like super slow map.
Who doesn't suck at Obscure? Let's be fucking honest. They've shown me one team that plays Obscure well.
Excitingly.
Is it even possible? I don't even think so.
Epsilon Infused, I'm going to go 3-all. Epsilon will win. Gully Wash, Infused will win Obscure.
Cool. And then games that are actually scheduled for next week, just so people know what they're meant to be, they can look out for. I know, obviously, Tuesday is Excello. Monday's that Excello final. I don't know whether there's another game being played, maybe a Prem game. I doubt it. Wednesday, at the moment, looks like Infused are meant to be playing Epsilon. I don't think that's happening, actually. I don't know. Infused are meant to be playing Deserto, sorry, I meant to say, but I don't think that's happening anymore. Punchline are meant to be playing Infused on the Thursday. Cadis, you've got a game that you know is going to happen?
Yep, it's Thursday at the QN special time of 20:30 because they refuse to cut the one average player who has a job every night. GG. Fucking idiots.
Following Epsilon's
Bit up.
footsteps.
And I think, hang on, I just got to open the chat with Skeege earlier. I think we're playing on Tuesday, are we? Oh no, the Infused Deserto game is actually on the Wednesday, but I can't play on it, so I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think there's many
I was about to
more
say,
games
do you still play for
organised.
Infuse? Then I remembered.
Are there any more games organised? Doesn't really look like it, does it? No, I think that's it for this week so far. So yeah, do tune in for some games. If someone wants to organise a decent game for a week on Sunday, me and Seabear will cast it. Fingers crossed. Yeah, okay, let's go do that for me. Thanks.
And also,
Awesome.
don't forget about ABC Tuesdays. Guaranteed cast every Tuesday. So far, the games I've had to work with are quite lacking. So, CC / any of those people are listening. I'm sure Axe and Beta would appreciate it.
Well, they've got the cup on Tuesday, don't they? So that'll work out well for them. They'll get
That's
the Exelo
very
cup.
convenient for them indeed.
So yeah, there will be some casts going on this week. You guys definitely check out Vanilla TV. And that's pretty much it from us. So any shout outs before we go, guys?
Oh wait, one more thing before we go. I just want to talk about the Forsaken thing on ETF2L. Some of you might have seen the thread. Basically, Forsaken's nationality on ETF2L is Latvian. He joined the Russian national team, and some Latvian guy got really mad about it on the forums. Was like, blah blah blah, just doing it because he has more chance of winning. And
Yeah, because Russia are the hot tip to win the Nations Cup.
and basically there was like some accusation because Forsaken's admin, he's like exploited his position as admin, etc. And basically, one Forsaken is he is Russian nationality. That is his nationality. He just lives in Latvia.
Why does he have a Latvian flag, just out of interest?
He was born in Latvia, but his nationality is Russian. His parents are Russian.
Yeah, but that doesn't
He
define
has
nationality.
He has Russian citizenship and nationality. He has all the
That
proof.
defines it.
He's sending it to ETF2L.
Or
Some
you
guys
say
have
he's sending it to ETF2L. We can't know, man. It's a conspiracy. It's just what he says, bro. It's just what he says.
Yeah, basically just to clear that up for everyone who might be like thinking bad things about Forsaken when he's really a hero.
Alright, I'm thinking the thread was locked.
It was. Thanks for the insight, Cadus.
Brilliant. Okay, well,
I was about to
we're-
drop another ETF2L rant, but I can't find the thread in time, so never mind.
Oh, what a shame, Cadis. Well,
I could go on another rant if everyone wants. Vote in chat now.
Oh, thank you.
yeah, it's pretty rubbish. Let's keep going and just do shout outs. I got one shout out to do, and that's Seabear and DJC will join us at some point before the next ESEA LAN finals to just do a preview and all that jazz. Just sorted it with them earlier today, so thought I'd let you guys know. I don't know when the final actually is, but it'll when the LAN finals are, but we'll do it the week before. And that's pretty much it from me. Cadis, Savvy, Cadis first. Anything?
No.
No. Savvy.
No.
Well, that's it from us for this week, guys. I want to thank Randa for joining us, and obviously thank everyone else, and thanks for joining us as well. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place. I don't think I'm working, so it should all be good. See you later.